Hi, it's Sandra Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own personal struggles, having borderline personality disorder. I talk about post-traumatic stress disorder, narcissism, schizophrenia. I talk about my unethical psychologist that sexually abused me, and a plethora of other mental health related topics, but I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I'm not a licensed therapist, so I can't diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. So all I ask in turn of you is your kindness, please, and respect in the comments. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button there. It's absolutely free. That way you'll be notified every time a video comes out. Like it, give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends and your family on your social media platforms. Feel free. And all the links to my books that I've written are down below in the descriptions, and they're all available on Amazon. Today's video, we're going to jump right into it now, is borderline personality disorder. Everything you wanted to know about it but were afraid to ask. So, I've lived with it all my life. I'm 59 and a half years old. I'll be 60 in July, and I still have still has a profound impact on my life. I am not over it. I have not gotten over it. I'm only going to talk from my personal experience. The first question is, do you outgrow it? Can you get rid of it? Does it go away? That's number one. In my personal life, no. I have not outlived it. It has not gone away. There's no cure for it that I know. I'm not cured of it, okay? Someone else might come on and say, yeah, they're cured of it. But this is my channel, and I'm only going to answer these questions from my personal experiences. No, there is no cure for it for me. For me, there has not been a cure for borderline personality disorder. Yes, I still live with it every day of my life, and I'm almost 60. Yes, it does still have a major impact on my life. The second question you might ask is, well, what does it feel like to have borderline personality disorder? I go from extreme rage and fear to, I split. It's splitting. One extreme to the other extreme, like black or white. I go from either extreme rage and fear to absolutely feeling nothing at all, like I'm a walking zombie, like I'm completely void, like I'm empty inside. So it's one of those two things, okay? The rage, I still have a lot of rage because I was severely abused. Borderline personality disorder is mainly a reaction to narcissistic abuse. In my opinion, I told you I'm not a psychologist. My mother was an extreme narcissist. She extremely physically, verbally, emotionally neglected and abused me. And so my borderline personality disorder is a reaction from my mother's severe abuse. And I still carry that rage inside of me that has never gone away. I've been in therapy almost 20 years. No psychologist has helped me with that. I have an extreme fear of abandonment because I was abandoned as a child. My father walked out on me and left me with an abusive, narcissistic mother. So I have an extreme fear of that. And so I see everything through that lens, like someone's going to hurt me. Even before someone has a chance to hurt me, I'm afraid they're going to hurt me, so I run away. I leave them before they can leave me. I often leave people when I feel close to them. The closer I feel to you, the more threatened I am by you. This is what happens. So I can go years without having any symptoms of borderline personality disorder if I'm not close to anyone. Like right now, I have no friends and I'm not close to anyone, so I don't have many symptoms. But once I start getting close to someone, then all those borderline symptoms come right back, because then I become very fearful. Another question you might ask me if you wanted to know about more about borderline personality disorder: does therapy help? I'm going to speak from my personal experience. No. Therapy has never helped me. In fact, therapy has severely traumatized me. It re-traumatized me. I was already traumatized before therapy. I was already a broken person. What happened during therapy is the psychologist had sex with me for years. I talked about this before in other videos, that it's against the law. It's unethical. They'll lose their license. They can go to prison because it's against the law, because there's a big power role play between a doctor and a vulnerable patient going for help. I talked about this before. And this is what happens. I often was abused because I was so vulnerable. And I had deep, intense attractions to my therapist because of my borderline personality disorder. I often need an idol, someone to worship, and I either idolize you or demoralize you. So you can go from hero to zero overnight, and it is the closer I get. And how can you not get close to someone in therapy? Because it's a very intimate environment. The therapist is a paid listener. That's what their job is. They're a paid listener, okay? They sit there and they get paid to listen, and they act like they care about you. And then, of course, I open up, and then I become vulnerable and afraid because I'm opening up too much. And then I want to run away because I'm afraid of I'm going to get hurt now, because I'm putting myself out there on the table to get hurt. So it's very, very scary. Another question you might ask is, well, what can I do if I'm in a relationship with someone who has borderline personality disorder? How can I help them? This is how you can help them. You need to be clear and consistent. Consistency is key, which means say what you mean and mean what you say. All right, this is paramount. This is very important. Don't say something to a borderline that you're not going to follow through on, okay? Don't be, up and down. You need to stay level with the borderline. You need to be consistent with the borderline. So if you say, I'm going to call you Friday night at 8, then call them Friday night at 8. Because if you don't call and you said you were going to call, someone else might say, oh, they forgot or something. But not to me. To me, that means I'm afraid you don't care about me anymore. You didn't call. You said you were going to call. I'm thinking, what are you doing? Maybe you're with someone else and you don't like me. Now I'm being replaced with a new friend or a new, because of my, abandonment issues from my narcissistic upbringing with my mother. I also had a schizophrenic father too, and that didn't help at all. I wrote a book about him up here. So that's something you can do if you are close to someone who has borderline personality disorder. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Be consistent, all right? If you say you're going to do something, then do it. It's very important. It's also very important not to judge or criticize someone, because deep down, I feel like I have no identity, okay? I'm this, like I said, walking zombie. I have this big dull void, like I'm nothing, like nil. And so I'm already hating myself deep down. I'm already putting myself down. I don't need you to come along and put me down. And I have totally blocked people, gotten rid of people who have criticized me. So if you say something very critical, this is really common sense for everyone. You should ask yourself, do I really need to say that? Is it going to be helpful to the person? Is it going to hurt the person? Okay? ask yourself those questions. Would you, like it if someone said that to you? You don't need to be critical or judgmental. And that's one of the big things, too, about it. Don't be critical. Don't be judgmental. Follow through on what you say. Be consistent, all right? Most of my therapists were not consistent. Like, for instance, they would allow emails in the beginning of therapy. I'd say, can I write you? And they'd say, yes. And then I would write them every day, and then they'd say, stop writing me. Well, you told me I could write you. I asked you that question, So make sure when you answer, what you can and you can't do, if you're going to set those boundaries, because borderline personality, you need to set clear, consistent boundaries. But consistency is key, okay? You can't say it's okay to do something and then later on switch the old switcheroo. That doesn't work with someone who has borderline personality disorder. You have to put down those clear, consistent boundaries from the get-go, from the beginning, okay? Let them know, yes, you can write me back. You can write me, but I might not always respond back because I could be busy. Don't be writing them back every day and then say, oh, Jesus, I'm really tired of writing back every day, and then stop doing it, because then they're going to feel like they did something wrong. You no longer care about them. They're going to take it out on themselves. Another thing, why do you drink? Why do you have substance abuse? A lot of people with borderline personality disorder are reckless, impulsive, and have substance abuse problems. So the question my psychologist used to ask me all the time during therapy is, why do you drink? Why do you drink? And I told him, drinking stops the thinking. I have such intense feelings inside that, I just, too much. They're too much for me. It's like a broken thermostat. Either I'm 100 degrees. Ask yourself what it would feel like for you if you were locked inside a car with the windows rolled up in Florida in the middle of July when it's 100 degrees. That's how I feel. Or imagine if you were pushed in a meat locker, in the refrigerator, in the freezer section, in a restaurant, and you're frozen to death. I go from that extreme to the other extreme. I can't handle that. It's like ripping, it's like burning my skin alive. I cannot handle that intensity. So when I drink, I'm like self-medicating. This is the way I self-medicate. Other people might smoke pot or might do other recreational drugs. I don't know what they do. They might have promiscuous relationships, with each to their own. But what I do is I use alcohol to self-medicate. So when I drink, I'm numbing down all of those intense rage, that the fears of abandonment, of not being liked, the feeling of like I'm nothing, I'm nobody, I'm nil. What am I? What's my purpose in life? Nobody likes me. So when I drink, the drinking numbs that all down, and and then I kind of like, feels good after a few drinks, I don't get drunk, but it feels like, all those thoughts are like, ooh, go away. So another question someone said is, what is worse, when do you feel the worst? In the night or during the day? And I thought about this. I usually feel really worse at night. Why do I feel worse at night? Because when I have insomnia, and I often have insomnia because I had a horrific experience with 2 psychologists, and I talked about this in my other videos, that, read my books. So I don't want to, get too deep into this, but I was severely sexually, I had sex with these psychologists, and yeah, they did things, and so, and I'm not over that trauma. So when I have insomnia, that all comes back in my head. So I'd have to say I'm much worse at night when I have insomnia. If I'm sleeping the whole night, then I'm all right, okay? Because during the day, I stay very busy. I'm super hyper focused on what I'm doing, on my writing, on my YouTube videos. So I'm super busy. But at night, if I'm sleeping the whole night, which is very rare, very rare, then I'm okay. But if I'm up and I have insomnia, then it's always 100 times worse at night, because I'm laying there wide awake. All right, the alcohol is worn off because I drink around 4. I drink between 4 and 4:30. By 7 o'clock, I'm passed out on the couch. The alcohol is kicked in. It just knocks me out. Then I just go to bed around 8, and then I just wake up. When I wake up, then I can't fall asleep, and all the things that happen to me, all the hurts that people have done to me. And I'm talking about little hurts, like if someone said something that to me, like criticized me, and this was like from March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. This is 9 months ago. I was friendly with this woman online, on the internet, let's put it this way. I was friendly with this woman on the internet. I met her in person, and I thought we were becoming fast friends. She was my age. She was a YouTube creator. She's in her 50s like me, and I really admired her and really liked her, and we were becoming friends. And then she criticized me, and that really hurt me. It hurt me so bad. Because I liked her so much. I idolized her. And so I often still think of that, how much she hurt me. Like, and that was 9 months ago. 9 months ago. And I only met this woman once, okay? It wasn't like we had. And then all the friends that hurt me too, and I've mentioned them, Holly and Linda, and I mentioned these people in other videos. But all those hurts, I replay everything in my mind. See, I keep tally. I don't know if you guys do that, but I do that, and I think it's part of my borderline personality disorder to keep tally. So if you did this, you said this to me, that's, a check. And then if you do something else, you forget to call me, that's another check. And every time I'm awake at night, lying there, trying to get some sleep, all these checks come back. Oh, she didn't call me. Oh, she criticized my singing. Oh, she did this. I don't know. She forgot to buy me a card on my birthday. Whatever it is. I have this tally. And in the middle of the night, this is what happens when I have insomnia. That all comes back. And here's another thing. When something comes back to me, and why therapy does not work for me as a borderline, is because talking about those past experiences makes me relive them. And that's why I never could talk about my mother in my therapy sessions with psychologists, because when I talk about what happened to me and what she did to me, I cannot talk about it. Why? Because it's like it's happening now in the present day. And I'm almost 60. So talking about it is not good for me, because talking about it re-injures me. This is why therapy doesn't work for me. Along with what these therapists did to me. They did quite a number on me. Watch my other videos. But this is another reason why even with good psychologists or therapists, therapy doesn't work with me, because I'm reliving it, the nightmare, over and over again when I talk about it, all right? It's as if it's happening in the present day, like it's happening right now. I can't talk about it without reliving it. And so that's another thing. You shouldn't try to push someone who has borderline personality disorder to talk about anything, all right? And you need to really build trust, and that takes a long, long time. That's another thing. If you're in a relationship with someone with borderline personality disorder, I've lasted with my husband. I've known him since I was 18. I started dating him at 18. I'm 59 and I'm still with him. But it took a long time. It took decades to trust him. It takes a very, very long time to trust someone with this disorder. I'm often paranoid. I'm often hypervigilant. I don't trust because I could never trust my mother and father. My primary caretakers when I was young, I learned distrust from my parents. And so I don't have any trust in anyone. The only person that I trust is my husband, and he's been with me since I was 18 years old, and that's the only person. But it took decades, literally decades, to get there. So it's going to, I mean, if you're in a relationship with a borderline, you have to be in it for the long haul, you know. You can't break a trust. Once you've broken their trust, it's over. It's over, okay? It is completely over. They'll never, you know, it's hard enough. It's hard enough for me to trust, you know, my husband's 100% faithful, 100% loyal, clear and consistent with me, completely consistent, not like this. Also, another thing, if you're in a relationship with someone with my disorder, you need to stay calm. Don't accentuate, all right? Don't be gasoline on the fire, all right? The best way to be with a borderline is calm, very calming. So if they go off in their psychotic fits, which I do, like a psychotic fit is like a little 2-year-old having a temper tantrum. The best thing you can do, don't walk away, because then they'll think like you don't care. If you walk away, I'm not going to listen to this shit, and walk away, that's the worst thing you can do. Don't do that, okay? Stay with them. But just be calming. You don't have to, you know, say anything or do anything, or try to get to reason with them. Of course, you can't reason with someone in a stage like that. But just stay with them and just let them have it out. Let them wear themselves out like a little toddler, right? Be very calming, be very soothing, and just stay with them, and they'll wear themselves out eventually. You know, you don't say anything, you don't respond, but you're calming and you're present. You don't walk away. And eventually, they'll wear themselves. I'll wear myself out. So that's a few things there that I hope I answered. People who are inquisitive about this disorder. If you have any more questions, please ask me in the comments. I will answer you. I want to hear from you. I will answer all questions. Any question, there's not any question you can ask me that's taboo. Ask me in the comments and I will respond to you, okay? All right. I hope I hear from you. Till next time, take care.